Hey guys, Laserbolt here, and welcome to another episode. Today we've got a really fun project to start on. I'm going to be building a computer for a buddy of mine. Stay tuned. So he's not looking for anything too fancy, no high-end gaming computer or anything like that. He's just looking for a good, reliable, budget-priced home office computer. So he does need it to be capable of browsing the web, downloading and manipulating some files for his 3D printer. He needs it to be compatible with Microsoft Office, and it has to have built-in Wi-Fi. Now, since he's not going to be playing any games on this system, I told him we could probably put together a fast and efficient system for under $500. Because of all the chip shortages going on the last couple months and all the prices being inflated because of scalpers and stuff, it can be kind of hard to get your hands on some good parts, especially the real high-end stuff. And anybody who's tried to get their hands on a 30 series graphics card in the last 8 months, you know what I'm talking about. But even with all that, you can still put together a powerful system at a reasonable price. Alright, so here's the very first step in getting started. As soon as you've figured out what your computer needs are, go to a neat little site called PC Part Picker. It shows you all the available parts, and as you start selecting them and go down the list, it only displays parts that are compatible. It'll even find the cheapest place to buy everything. Very handy. So these are the parts I decided to go with on this. Bear in mind that these prices are fluctuating by the hour, so these prices are just kind of a rough estimate at this point. For the central processor, I chose the Intel Pentium Gold G6400 4GHz dual-core processor. It's a mouthful, but it's a pretty good one for the price. I managed to find it for $88 on Amazon. Let's check out some of the specs here, what's going on. Of course, it's getting some good reviews for the price and all that kind of stuff. Just 8 months ago, you could get it for $65. Prices are a little overblown right now, but if you look around, you can come up with something that's not too bad. It only has 2 cores, but it does have hyper-threading, so it has 4 threads, which basically means that it can behave as if it had 4 cores. The chip clocks in at 4 GHz speed. That's very nice. The LGA 1200 socket. The LGA 1200 is actually a pretty standard Intel socket for most modern Intel chips. It's got the integrated graphics, 610 UHD. Very nice. Maximum supported memory, 128 gigs. That's way more than the 16 gigs we're going to put in here, so that's good. This is something I wanted to make sure that it had. It includes its own CPU cooler, so that's another expense we won't have to buy. Very nice. Alright, so that's the CPU I chose. Well, next is the CPU cooler, and we can just go ahead and skip this because our processor already comes with it. Alright, motherboard. Basically, I was just looking for something inexpensive and functional. The motherboard is one of the most important parts of the whole project, because basically this is the thing that everything else plugs into. It's what distributes all the power. You want to make sure that it has plenty of plugs and everything's compatible with it. So yeah, I thought the $110 price wasn't too bad. Let's go ahead and take a look at it here. We can get it from Newegg for $110. Free shipping, very nice. It's in stock. Yeah, I've never ordered anything from Newegg before, but I do trust them. They're one of the major retailers, and they've been in the game for a while, and they're pretty trustworthy. Let's see, it has the LGA 1200 socket that we need, so we know that's compatible. The form factor, micro ATX. This is interesting. It's actually a rather small motherboard designed for building a rather small computer. But it'll also fit in a regular full-size ATX case. I only went with the micro ATX because of that was the cheapest price. Oddly enough, the micro ATX and mini ATX motherboards seem to be cheaper, but when it comes to buying a case to put them in, the large cases are cheaper than the small ones. So yeah, that's what we're going with. Memory type DDR4. That's very important. We'll make sure we get some fast DDR4 memory for it. Memory slots 4. That's good. We're only going to need 2 of them. It's got 1 PCIe slot for adding a graphics card if you want to. We're not going to be using that since our chip has it built in. But if you ever wanted to expand the computer, this would be one of the best ways to do it. You pop a graphics card in it, and it will be instantly game worthy. Got plenty of headers for 2.0 USB. It even handles 3.2 Gen 1 headers. Very nice. Next, we're going to go with the memory here. Decided to go with this Team T-Force VULCAN Z. It was a good price at $71, $72 really. 16 gigabytes is good. Two 8 gigabyte sticks going on here. It's DDR4, 3200 speed, which is really nice. Went ahead and grab that. Just no memory. Now we're not going to need it. 16 gigabytes is actually not too bad for a system like this. For storage, I wanted to make sure that we could fit a solid state drive in here. It's just with the speeds that you can get out of these things, it's so worth it. It'll make booting up the system nice and quick and efficient. I managed to find a 1 terabyte solid state drive for $82. This isn't an M.2 drive or anything, it's a regular SATA SSD, but it's way faster than your typical mechanical spin drive. Looks pretty good. And it's real easy to add more storage to this in the future if you need to. But honestly, I think 1 terabyte should be fine. I mean, he's not going to be installing any games on here. He's not going to have a bunch of HD movie files or nothing. He just wants to manipulate some simple 3D printing files and stuff like that. And this should be fine to get him started. And a video card. This is a huge expense that we can just skip right over because we made sure that our dual-core processor actually has integrated graphics. It's not as good as having a dedicated video card, but you just don't need it if you're not doing a bunch of heavy gaming. So onto the case. Found this Challenger ATX mid-tower. It's under $50, so that's good. One of the things I wanted to make sure is that it came included with a couple of fans, because that's another expense that we won't have to buy because you're going to have a couple. Yeah, here we go. The Rosewill ATX mid-tower, 3 case fans pre-installed. Very nice. You can see them here. A couple in the front, one in the back. So perfect. Looks like we even have some rudimentary LEDs going on here in front. Probably just lights up blue, or if we're lucky, we'll be able to change the colors. If not, it's super not important. And look at this. We could even add a couple of DV drives or CD drives or something in there if we had to. It's been a while since I've seen a case that even had these, but that's nice. Here we go. And the last piece of hardware we're going to need is a power supply. Look at that, 142 watts is all we're going to need for this computer. Should be easy enough to find a power supply suitable for that. Look at this. I managed to find this 80 plus bronze certified semi-modular power supply. There's a lot of good stuff there. First of all, it's 600 watts, which is plenty for what we need. And you want to make sure that you get one that's certified. That's pretty important when it comes to power supplies. You don't want it kind of wonky. This is bronze certified. The bronze part indicates the efficiency of it. So 80 plus bronze certified is not bad. You can get better than that, but this will do just fine. Another nice thing is it's semi-modular, which means that it only has the 2 cables coming out of it. The 8-pin supplementary power and the 24-pin main power is hardwired into there. The rest are just up to you. You can plug in whatever cable you need. It looks like it comes supplied with all the ones you might need, and we're not going to need very many of them. I think we're only going to need 1. So that's good. You're not going to have a big cluster of cables flopping around all over the place. And there you go. I think we have everything we need. We don't need a monitor. We don't need keyboards, headphones, mice, all that kind of stuff. He's got all the things he's going to need. Managed to get it down to about $475. By the time you actually order everything and you give or take a few here and there, that always fluctuates by a few bucks. Alright, and the last thing we're going to need, and it's easy to forget this part, but it's crucial, you're going to have to get an operating system on here. I'm a big fan of Windows 10. I know you have other options, but just don't. Just get Windows 10. The bad thing about Windows 10 is it's usually quite expensive. If you want a brand new, fresh, licensed version of Windows 10, it usually costs you about $130. Pretty pricey. But there's a few places online, such as Unitysoft. I've bought a few Windows 10 keys here before, and they're always cheap. Look at this for $26.99. We'll call it $27. And here we are, Windows 10 Professional. Look at this, usually $170. But you can get it here for 27 bucks. This is legit. When you buy it, they will send you an email that has your license and registration key on there that'll unlock it fully. The way they sell these keys for so cheap is that these are actual manufacturer's keys, meaning that these are Windows 10 keys that manufacturers get. They buy them in bulk and they buy them cheaply, and then they use that to install Windows on their computers, and then they sell them that way. So these keys are 100% legitimate. The only issue is that if you happen to have an issue with your Windows 10 installation and you contact Microsoft, they're going to tell you to get a hold of your manufacturer. Well, the manufacturer is me. You know, honestly though, in all these years, I don't think I've ever actually had to contact Microsoft for anything. So it's worth the savings. If you're going to build a computer, just put one of these cheap ones in here like this, and you're just going to have to deal with the fact that Microsoft isn't going to give you any support. Alright, so now we've got all the parts ordered. The grand total for everything, including Windows, comes to $490, so it's not too bad. The parts will be trickling in over the next few days, and I can't wait to get started on it. That'll be the subject of next week's video. So if you want to get notified when that video gets posted, click the subscribe button and hit the little bell next to it. A very wise man once said, your focus determines your reality. So spend some time focusing on some positive things. Focus on the things that make you happy, and you will change your reality. Alright guys, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week when we put this beast together. Bye now.